Oh, hang on, which button? That button. Ah, we're back. Salutations, everyone. I have topped up my drink. I have eaten a cheeky slice of pizza. I've seen a man about a dog. It is time to take a look at all of the games I played last year and decide what tier I want to give them. That's basically what we're doing. That's the kind of gist of where we are right now. John, I got a Guinness settled in for the new review of the year. Glad to hear it. This was the highlight of John's year, and he found it was going to be a puffer. Clearly, John's got his priorities in the right place. This is an important list. Let's put on something more better. Let's put on some better music than my hold music, as I call it in my head. I've been thinking about getting a remix of this music done. Right, hopefully this isn't... I'm going to put this down low, just in case, because I don't know how loud this is. There we go. Just a nice little backing track to accompany me that isn't my hold music. Yeah, I'm thinking about getting a remix of my BGM done for the new year. Like maybe get a more maybe a more upbeat version for the intro music, and then maybe like a nice somber version for the stream over music. I just haven't bothered to do it, so video games are definitely more important. Video games are forever children over like 18 years and they move out and see them twice a year? Yeah, pretty much. I felt like you need a gentleman's dressing gown or something for lounging in your room. I could... Hang on. Let me see what options there are. They do have... I never use them. I thought they had some built in. I never have a red one. Maybe a snow blanket? Like this. Hang on, I need to pin it here. Right. I don't know. Does that? I don't think I can get away with something this cute. I feel like this is. I feel like I need like a dinner jacket and a pipe more than a snuggly cat blanket. There's a lot of cat blankets. Yeah, I think Neko. There's a guy called Neko something who does a lot of these props for VTube Studio. I'm gonna say no. I think the 2023 glass is as much razzle dazzle. Tell you what I'll do though. It's the evening. I'll take off my jacket. There we go. Seeing as it's now 9 p.m. We're settled in by the fireplace. So. For nearly 2 decades, oh man. Yeah, you'll be gone 50. Have fun. But yeah, pipe dressing gown, some slippers, maybe a newspaper that I'll never read under my arm. Yeah. Anyway, let's have a look. Let's start the tier list because there's always. I always think. Oh, hang on. There we go. I always think this is one of those things that like takes less time than it does, and it doesn't. That one. Normally I do this stuff in my own time. Claw game unlocked, so that should be. There we go. hang on, I can do a thing that lets me... It's one of these. There we go, there we go. Let's get these sides out of the way. That looks about right, right? That's good. We'll lock that in place there. That should sort us, and I can control it from here. And I'm gonna have to just twitch up somewhere else. Yep, stream manager, and then that sits. You can set up my buttons, I guess. I'm not using any of those. I don't think I'm going to get scared or concerned talking about the games I played during 2022. So, I did one of these lists last year. Same rules apply. This is every game that I played during 2022 that came out in 2022. So obviously there are lots of games that I played that didn't come out in 2022 last year. They're not included in this list. I also count, so if the game came out on another console, but the version I played came out that year, which I think only applies to like one or two of these games, then I've counted it, just for the sake of, otherwise it kind of gets weird about where they sort of fit into the narrative. I was surprised at how few games I'd played compared to last year. Last year it was 66. This year I'd only played... Well, there's 50 games on this list. I'd only played 49, and then I decided to play Crossfire, and now it's 50. So, yeah, 50 games got that tier. I did genuinely forget about some of these, and it was... going through the list of all of the games from 2022, and just seeing all the stuff that I didn't play... It makes me depressed, man. There's so many good games out there that I'm just never going to find the time to actually play. And it's always so depressing. Just like, man, I just want to consume everything. But I think I got through quite a lot. So let's start off. So the first one is... I can't read the titles from here. It's Sucker for Love. Was it Sucker for Love First Date? I think is the full name of the game. Hang on, I'm just checking... the actual source picture that I uploaded. This music is maybe slightly too hyped for this tier list. Maybe I should change it to a lo-fi mix. I feel like this is way too heroic for what we're doing here, which is essentially me just going, I like this game more than this game. Where is it? Oh yeah, it was Sucker for Love First Date. Let me, hang on. Is that actually playing anything? Hang on. There we go. There we go. That's a bit more relaxing. Is that the game with the really nice VA for the main girl came by? Yes, it is. I was going to mention that. So, Sucker for Love First Date was a visual novel I played on Valentine's Day. It has full voice acting. You date a succubus lady. We finished it in one sitting. There were 3 girls to romance, I think. There was the Cthulhu, the King in Yellow, and the Neko cat cosmic horror thing. And yeah, while we were playing it, because the game just came out, the voice actor for the Cthulhu girl with the pink hair was like hopping across loads of different Twitch streams of the game and saying hi, which I thought was very nice. It's a lovely, pleasant surprise. But apart from that, it was also just a really fun. It was well written. It was a fun game. Visual novels, I'd love to do more visual novels, but so few of them have voice acting, and it's just, I can do them for a little bit, but it just gets a lot when there's so much dialogue, so I can't play them. I'd love to do like the Phoenix Wright ones, but it's just way too much dialogue to do on my own. So the fact that this had full full voice acting except the main character, who I could do the voice for. That's ideal. I'd happily play some more of these. So yeah, so I really enjoyed this game. I'm gonna put it in very dandy for the time being. In fact, I'm tempted to put up to pretty. I'm tempted to put it a pretty damn dandy because of the VA, because the VA came out and said hi. In fact, I'm gonna put out a pretty damn dandy. I thought Sucker for Love First Date was, yeah, delightful. I can change these later if I once I've had a look at them. Case of the Golden Idol. We played this last Monday and we did it in one sitting. I thought this game, and I'm hoping this isn't just a recency effect thing, but I thought this game was really, really friggin' good. It definitely. So it was sold to me as being the spiritual successor for Return of the Obra Dinn. If you've never played Return of the Obra Dinn and you watched me play Golden Idol and you've never played it, absolutely recommend Return of the Obra Dinn. It's such a good game. Just an absolutely solid game. I actually kind of regret. I kind of don't regret not streaming it. Because Return of the Obra Dinn, because I think I enjoyed it more being able to just like figure everything out myself. But also it'd be nice to relive that game through myself. Anyway, it's really good. I think I'm gonna put this in right dandy. It was it was exactly what it was marketed for, and it's that great kind of combination of being challenging enough that you feel smart about finishing it, but not too hard that you get frustrated. That's a sweet spot, and it nailed it. Yeah, I think I'll put that up right dandy. It might. It's definitely here. It's definitely between these two. I'll put it right dandy for now. I'll see what I end up with, and maybe like I said, I can readjust these later. This is my list. I can do what I want with it. So yeah, I'm gonna put that there for now. Dragon Ball: The Breakers. So this is. I'm still playing this. This game's not great. I will say it's not. It's definitely a low budget. It does feel a little bit cash grabby, but I am still enjoying it. I have finished the Season 1 Battle Pass. They're adding Vegeta in a few weeks, and I'm really looking forward to Vegeta being added. It is just, it's just a fun game. It's a I can't remember what they call the name of it, but it's basically a 1 versus 7, kind of like Dead by Daylight kind of thing. I have to acknowledge the fact that the game itself is low budget and low effort, and is kind of jank though. So I'm gonna put it that it's dandy. I am still playing it, and I do plan to continue playing it, which is a lot more than I can say for some of the games on this list. But yeah, I have to acknowledge that it is. I wish it was free to play. If it was free to play, I'd probably bump it up at least another level. But the fact they charged as much money for it, and the fact that it doesn't have it's not cross-compatible with other consoles, and it's just like everyone I play on Xbox is on Xbox, which is great, but it means that it will die a lot faster than it would have done if it was free to play and it was cross compatible. So, God damn it, these titles are so small. I do know the names of these games. It's called something like Far Changing Tides. There's another game that's called Far Something Else, and it's like the spiritual prequel. No, it is actually specifically still. Am I still playing it just because it's Dragon Ball? There is a lot of it that I think the brand does help with. I think if it wasn't a Dragon Ball game and it was just a regular game, I wouldn't care as much. I think being Dragon Ball definitely has helped. Because I just, there is a sort of genuine bit of satisfaction in like escaping a raider, or being I always play as Frieza, being Frieza and like outsmarting a survivor and like completely wiping out an entire team and blowing up the planet. There is a certain level of satisfaction. It might wear off because the gameplay is quite samey, but I've been kind of playing it in spits and spats like once or twice a week, and so I've managed to kind of prolong it. And it hasn't got stale yet. At time of recording, I'm still enjoying Breakers. I will probably stream when they add Vegeta as well, because I feel like he's going to have his giant monkey form, and I feel like that's going to be a cool mechanic to learn. Yeah, Far Changing Tides, it's not a spiritual sequel, it's an actual direct sequel in the same universe, but with different characters. You get on a boat, ship, house, you go from left to right, in a world that's all flooded. This kind of game is my jam. It's like a really chill, quiet indie game. There's a bunch of games in this sort of genre that I really like. There was that one where you were you were the Grim Reaper and you were ferrying souls through the river, through the ocean of the dead, and you were helping them pass on and stuff. And all the spirits were different animals. I can't remember what that was called, but that was really good. I really like that. That was cool, sort of I like these kind of chill indie games that are quiet and introspective. And I like post-apocalyptic stuff. This game sucked, and I don't know. This game's got really good reviews as well, which is baffling to me. It's so boring. Spiritfarer, yes, that's what it was called. Spiritfarer was really, really good. I really like Spiritfarer. They've added a couple more spirits. I've been meaning to jump back in to try them out, and it's a long game just to check that 2 spirits. Anyway, sidetrack. That kind of game I really like. Not as maybe a stream game, but just to kind of... It's a good kind of game on like a Thursday afternoon where I'm not doing anything. I'm just or like a Saturday night when I'm not streaming and I just want a game to play just to kind of for 11 o'clock in the evening. Which I think is exactly when I played this game. I think I played from 11 till 2 a.m. or something. It was really, really boring. There's chill and then there's dull, and this was really dull. It had a couple of moments, but I was mostly... It was free. It was on Game Pass as well. I would have probably been more annoyed if I paid for it. I'm putting it in not so dandy. It was just tedious. Sadly, I don't recommend it. I mean, it's on Game Pass. Try it if you can, but it's... Yeah, it reviewed well, so there's clearly something there that I'm not seeing, but I just got bored of it. Plague Tale Requiem. This is a difficult one. So I really like the original Plague Tale. I was really looking forward to this Plague Tale. Having finished it, appreciate the story, and I liked the ending. I like that the ending I feel like resolved a lot of the problems I had whilst I was playing it. But I really got down on this game in about halfway through until about the last fifth of the game, I think. It really meandered, and there was so much talking, and the characters just kept saying stuff without saying anything meaningful. And it was and Hugo was annoying, and Amicia was annoying, and it just put me off every character so much. But the ending, like I said, did kind of pull it back a little bit and kind of answer some of my complaints. So I think I'm going to put it in dandy. I think overall as an experience, I enjoyed it more than I didn't enjoy it. I feel like it was... It nailed the landing, as I like to say. But the journey was... a slog. Gungrave Gore. So I technically didn't play this game. I watched... This is the only one of these on this list, I think. I watched my brother play this game over Christmas. So we had I thought the original, but he reckons it's the second Gungrave game on PS2. And it was the one game I remember both of us playing on the PS2. Because my brother didn't used to play video games that much, and by the time the PS2 was out, he kind of wasn't really into video games that much. So it was weird that I remembered it being a game that he liked. And so this came out just before Christmas. It was on Game Pass, and I was like, when he comes over for Christmas, I'll download it, we'll play it, we'll take a trip down memory lane. And it was a delightful. He was like, oh, I remember all this. I remember this move. I remember this character. He's like, yeah, I remember this stuff. And it was great for like an hour. And then it's just like, yeah, this game's I did play one level. It does not, this game just does not control well. It's very heavy. It's very sluggish. It doesn't look great. The voice acting's bad. The story's, yeah, the game's not fun to play. So it was a nice trip down memory lane, but ultimately not. If it wasn't for the, like, nostalgia, I'd probably put it in not dandy. I'm going to put it in not so dandy, because it was at least... There was at least that... me and my brother just had, like, that little moment of, like, going, yeah, I remember this. And that was nice. That was a nice thing that happened over Christmas. So I'm going to give it props for that. I actually don't know what this is. Oh, I think this might be Babylon's Fall. So some of the pictures... I try to get box art for most stuff. And some pictures are a bit smaller. Yeah, this is Babylon's Fall. So we played this earlier today. Playing games with a sibling at this age is great. Yeah, it's like I said, it was nice. I don't get to play games. I don't see my brother that often, and he doesn't play video games anymore at all. So it was nice to find a game that was like, like just that does like a nice little trip down memory lane. I could probably do it with. I mean, I can't even really do it with the GTA games because I think we played maybe the GTA 1 and GTA 2. But he kind of dropped out of gaming by the time the PS2 came out, so I don't think he even really played like the 3D GTAs. So it was just this sort of weird, like the fact they decided to bring it back as well was unusual. Gungrave is not a good series, but like I said, it holds a special place for me and my brother, so I appreciate it for that. Babylon's Fall. We played this earlier today. This music occasionally gets very loud. I'm having to sort of constantly tweak the music depending on the volume, depending on the song. We played this earlier today. I tried my best to give this game the benefit of the doubt, and unfortunately, this game, I played it today because it was the third worst reviewed game of 2022, and I think that is fair. It was not fun. It was confusing. I didn't like the plot. I didn't like the characters. The voice acting was weird. The game wasn't fun to play. It didn't look nice. I couldn't get anyone to play with me. I was really bored throughout the entire... We played it for 3 hours. I finished the first boss. I was doing well because I got a platinum medal on the boss, which was basically like a perfect. I didn't feel like I was getting the mechanics at all. It's gonna get a not dandy from me, unfortunately, for Babylon's Fall. Sorry, Sachadis. I know you're more positive on this game because you played further, and I will trust you that it gets better, but from the 3 hours that I played, it gets a not dandy. Sorry. Beacon Pines. So this was a nice little surprise. This game just kind of popped onto Game Pass, and it looked cute, and I decided to play it, and we ended up playing it until we played the first part, and then I played the second part and thought, well, we're probably about halfway through. And then we ended up going till 3 a.m. Yeah, it's a cute little indie game. A little time travel. I feel like the mechanic... I feel like the sort of core mechanic of Beacon Pines could have been better utilized. The whole, like, keyword thing. It felt like very tacked on. I got a lot of keywords that just didn't do anything. But, for what it was really good. So I'm going to put it in pretty damn dandy. I feel like the thing that keeps it out of being right dandy is the fact it's just, like I said, that sort of... And the ending was also a bit... There was a couple of bits of the ending that were like... They could have fixed... There were problems that could have been fixed in the final ending that you got. The true ending, quote unquote, that weren't addressed. And there's also a character that just showed up and didn't do any, and was in one ending and wasn't in any other ending, and they never addressed that. So maybe they're making a Beacon Pines 2 or something, and that will cover that. But yeah. Oh no, I put it lower. That's actually 7 times 5. Well, not dandy is the lowest tier that I have. So I can't... The only tier I can put it lower is that I haven't finished it yet. This is for games that I just haven't played enough to form an opinion of. So it is as low as I can put it. I did almost plat the game. I never said I liked it. Fair enough. Well, I feel comfortable putting it there and having only played 3 hours. Chocobo GP. So this is a sequel to Chocobo Racing, I think, which was a PlayStation 1 game. I was really excited for this game, and then they charged 40 quid for it, and also had a season pass, and also had premium currency. And I played the free trial of it, which meant the limited trial, I think they called it, which let you play. I think you could play for races, but you weren't allowed to earn any battle pass points or buy any premium currency. You had to buy the full game. You had to pay the full game, the full 40 quid, to buy premium currency. It was such a scummy model, and the game itself was like, if it was free to play, it probably would have been okay, but it was not. It's not a 40 quid game. It was. I think they've definitely stopped making content for it. I think the servers are still up, but they've definitely stopped making the content for it. This is going to go not dandy as well. Yeah, like I said, if it was free to play, it might be sort of like quite dandy, not so dandy area, because it was serviceable kind of kart game. But yes, I can't. 40 quid with a battle pass. To be fair, yeah, well, I know I already said the Dragon Ball Breakers should have been free. At least it does have premium currency as well, but at least the battle pass is free. It's just free with the game. There's no you don't have to buy a premium battle pass on top of the price of the game. And it was 15 quid. And actually, it's only 15 quid for the normal version of that game, so it's a lot cheaper as well. Still should have been free, but yeah, don't recommend Chocobo GP. Citizen Sleeper. So we played this last week. I want to play some more of this. I will not play it on stream, as I think it's a really good game, but I need to play more of it to make a proper decision. I don't think it worked well as a stream game. I thought maybe the dice rolling mechanic and the randomness would be more entertaining, and it is, but not for a stream game. So I'm going to put it in haven't finished yet, but seems dandy. I think it will probably be sort of around pretty damn dandy or very dandy when I finish it, but it kind of depends on how much more I play of it. Crisis Core. I probably try and finish it off next weekend, but I feel like I've played enough of it that I think it's probably up here and very dandy. It has lots of flaws, but it has a few flaws, but I feel like. Oh, if you want to see how Babylon is when you have players with you, I could download it. No, I'm not that. I'm curious about it. I appreciate the offer. I don't think we can even play together, because I'm pretty sure it put me on the European server based on my Square account. So I don't even know we could play with each other unless you've got a European Square account that lets you. I guess you must have for Final Fantasy. You can change it. Oh, okay. Well, even still, I don't want to. I do appreciate the offer, but yeah, it was. I would have been happy to play with people if today, but yeah, I'm sure it is a lot more fun with people, but there's so many other games to play. Yeah, so Crisis Core, I will finish it, so I can't really. I guess I mean I know how it ends pretty much, ish. So, but I have to sort of see it to. I mean, I don't think it's going to move out of this area, though. There are a couple of complaints I have about it. The battle system... It's fun to play, but the battle system... It basically funnels you towards a very specific setup. And if you don't have this specific setup and specific gear, you can't do some of the end game content, like the really high-level stuff. Because it's just like, you need to have a weapon that can bypass... defense, you need to have this, you need to have that, and so it kind of you can't really build freely. You have to you got a few options, but generally you have to go towards one specific build, which is kind of meh. But it's a fun game. I got to hang out with a young Aerith and a young Yuffie and a young Cloud, and Sephiroth's cool. So, and I never played the original, so that was fun. So that's going very dandy. Cult of the Lamb. I meant to play more of this. I only did the one stream. This was going to be a weekly thing, and then something else came out, and I got distracted. I feel like I've played enough of it, though, to say that it's probably very dandy. It's a shame the Twitch integration didn't work as well as I'd hoped, but I think it was still a fun... I'd like to do some more in it. I'd like to try and do some... That's one of my things for 2023 as well, is just that I'd like to do more chat interaction games like that and things where you guys can meddle with me and, you know, impede my progress and things like that. So I might play some more Cult of the Lamb in the new year. From what I played of it, though, it seems it's nice. It kind of reminds me of Darkest Door. Not Darkest Door. Was it Darkest Door? The one where he plays as a crow. Death's Door. Death's Door. It kind of reminded me of Death's Door a little bit in terms of gameplay, but with a whole like cult management tacked onto the end of it. Well, it's more like a cult management with the Death's Door combat tacked onto it than the other way around. But it was fun. It's nice having like the chat interaction stuff was cool. Having all my cult members named after people from chat and feeding that one guy poop, who hasn't shown up in chat since that stream, so I feel less bad now. It's a fun game. Well, like I said, I'd like to play some more of it. Digimon Survive. I haven't played as much. I keep forgetting that I have this game, and it's been installed since August, September when it came out. I'm really enjoying it. I just keep forgetting it exists and forgetting to play it. So I don't think I've played enough of it to have an opinion on it yet. The story is still I'm still in... The prologue is really long, and I'm still trying to... It still hasn't gotten to the meat of the story yet, so... Who did we food poop again? I forget. What was his name? It was like underscore, and then it was like Roku or something like that, or Yoku. Like I said, I haven't seen them in chat since then. So again, I don't feel as bad. They may well have been in lurking. They may be in chat now. Ooh, I don't think they are. Probably because we fed them to poop, to be honest. Yeah, well, that's how it goes sometimes. Sometimes you wanna watch a chill Twitch stream and you get force-fed feces. I wouldn't return either. Yeah, you would. This game's got a stupid name. I can't remember what it's called. I had trouble actually searching for it because it wasn't on the Wikipedia page. Space Lines from the Far Out. That's what this game's called. Like I said, it's got a stupid name. This is a multiplayer. It's kind of like in the same kind of bracket as that cooking game. Cookout? Serves Up? Whatever. That kind of like party game. It's like it's up to 4 players. You're managing a spaceship, and it's like a spaceship passenger flight. And the idea is you're working from one half of the universe, from planet to planet to planet to planet, trying to get to sort of like the ultimate, to sort of this final destination. It's kind of a roguelike. When you finish it, you're supposed to do it again. You can upgrade your ship and Overcooked. Yes, that's the cooking game. It's kind of like in the same vein of Overcooked, where people have got different responsibilities and stuff. Unfortunately, it glitched and we never finished. I was actually playing with Amy and John and another friend of ours. It actually glitched and we never finished it because we couldn't get to the final. For whatever reason, I think it glitched all our furniture or something out of it. The game broke. We never finished it. It was kind of fun while we were playing it, but the problem I think with Overcooked, because everything changes. Actually, no, I think I prefer this over Overcooked. With Overcooked, everything changes from level to level, so you have to kind of figure out who's doing what as you go. Whereas this, you could kind of just do the same thing every... So you had one person on controls, one person on navigation, one person cleaning, one person doing meals, and you could kind of take ownership of different tasks. I actually preferred that, but it meant that by the end of it, it was like we were kind of done. with it. It was fun for an evening, though. I'm going to put it in quite dandy. I think it was okay. It was on Game Pass. It was free. It was fun for an evening, but then it broke. Elden Ring. Oh, this game sucks. Put it not no. This Elden Ring. Yeah. Boringly, it's top of the list. It is probably my game of the year. It's so good. I like the fact that after I finished streaming it for however many hours I finished streaming it the first time, I immediately created a new character and replayed the content I had just played with a different character, just because I wanted to keep playing it. I do have a few complaints about it. It's not a perfect game. Does go on a bit too long, I think. And I think it's a weird thing to complain about. There's probably a bit too much to do, insofar as there didn't need to be as many sort of side dungeons as there were, especially because it created like weird questions. Like, you fight a boss that's supposed to be like this big spectral space alien thing, but then you fight it again in a side dungeon, and it's called something else, and it's like, but I thought this was supposed to be one of them. Why is there two of them? And it's like, I don't know, kill it, you get a new sword. Hey, Jin, I need to play Elden Ring if everyone says this game's so good. It is so good. If you like Dark Souls and you like open world games, it is the perfect marriage between the two of them. It is hard, but also you can kind of it gives you tools to kind of circumvent the difficulty. Like, there's very few points where if you're doing so badly you can't progress, you can't go and just do something else for a little while and come back once you've leveled up a bit. It is kind of hard to tell where you're supposed to be going. Like, I accidentally completely ignored a southern island that I was supposed to go to way earlier, and when I ended up going there, I was over-leveled and killed everything really easily. So it'd be nicer if things like scaled. I always think that's better. But it's a minor complaint. Like, all the complaints I have about Elden Ring are very minor. I think overall I really enjoyed the experience. I really enjoyed the world, the game. I'm looking forward to proper DLC. I know they've added Colosseum DLC recently, but that doesn't count. And I liked making all the different new builds. I liked and it was fun streaming it. It's just a good game. It's like I said, it's probably my game of the year. There should have been a giant skeleton bell friend. Yeah, the fact that like the other people could summon giant skeletons and I couldn't. Actually, could I by the end? I can't remember. I did get all the summons, I think. I got most of them. I missed out on a couple of bits. The side quests in that were dumb. Fortunately, because I played it for over such a long period, people figured out what to do, and I could pick up on some of the stuff. But there was some stuff where it was like, oh yeah, did you kill this guy? Yeah, sorry, that quest is now completely cut off to you. And I know Dark Souls does that a lot, but in Elden Ring, it's just so much harder because it's like, oh, did you go to this one specific cave and speak to this guy after defeating the boss? And it's like, no. And it's like, oh yeah. Like, you can entirely miss summoning if you don't go back to that first church and at nighttime and see Ranni sitting on the wall. And then you have to buy it from her much later on in the game. And it's like, that summoning is a really important mechanic in Elden Ring. And missing it that early on and being locked out of being able to summon stuff in just makes the game way harder. There's a lot of stuff that could have been designed better. But my experience with it was very positive, so I really, really liked it. Kill it and there's a new sword and offer my character can't use. Yeah, that was annoying. Well, that's again the case with Dark Souls these Souls-like games all the time. If you kill something, it's like, no, this is an intelligent sword. I can't use this. But yeah, like I said, overall, solid game. Probably the best game I played this year. Fall Guys. So I played Fall Guys. This is one of the ones that's kind of like an exception because the Xbox Series X version came out this year. And I played it previously on the PS4 when the PS4 version came out like 2 years ago. It's a fun game. I played it a bit on PS4 and then kind of lost interest. And then it came out on Xbox and I played it a bunch. finished the Season 1 Battle Pass. Season 2 Battle Pass came out. I got about 20, 30 levels in. Kind of lost interest. And I think they're on Season 4. It's a really fun game. It's a lot more fun if you've got friends to play with who like the game. It's still fun to play on your own, because there's obviously, you just get matched up with people. There's not a huge amount of, like, communication you need to have with people. But the progress, since it went free to play, there's a few complaints I've got about it, about, like, you get so little currency from playing free to play that it's just... there's you gotta play it a lot in order to finish the battle pass, which I don't like in these kind of games. It gets very samey. So I'm gonna put it in dandy. I think it's a fun game, but it's just short-lived for me. I know there are some people who are still playing it and still love it and just keep going and going and going. But yeah, it wore thin. There's a couple of games like that on here. Ghostwire. Dandy. I didn't finish it, but I enjoyed the world, and I enjoyed the sort of powers and stuff, but the combat seemed really pointless, and by a certain point I was just strong enough that I didn't really need to do anything. I didn't really need to think about it, and the plot I kind of wasn't really that invested in. But the yokais, the Japanese monsters and stuff running around Tokyo and like learning all that lore and stuff, it was fun. But like I said, I didn't finish it, and I don't really have any intention of going back and finishing it. So, and I think similar thing probably be saying about Gotham Knights. I thought this game, I did probably had a higher opinion of this game than a lot of people. It is no better than a 7 out of 10 game, and I had complaints like the fact that gliders and the gliding mechanics were locked behind. You have to play for like 15-20 hours before you can unlock all the gliders and stuff, and it's like, no, look at Arkham City. You could glide straight away, and then they gave you tools later on to make the gliding better. Don't lock your main travel power behind that many hours of content. I do actually intend to finish this one, so maybe it'll go higher or lower depending on when I actually finish it. But based on what I've played, I think it's okay. It's fine. It's fine. Grounded. So this came out of early access this year. I did play this when it first came out, and again, I've been playing it on Games Night with my friend group. It's okay. It's I have complaints about it. There's a couple of bits where it drags. It's still a bit glitchy, even though it's sort of been 1.0. There's some server problems, stuff like glitching through the walls, and but overall it's fun. It's a sort of fun, like that kind of genre of sort of survival, like The Forest and Valheim and kind of crafting survival stuff. It's an interesting setting. I like the story. I'm not big on the crafting element of these games, and I feel like the crafting element is a big part of this one. And I want to go and kill stuff, and the combat it's better than some games. Like the fact that I can actually reliably kind of like do stuff like parries and things like that is good, but yeah. So I'm gonna put it in very dandy. It's a good game. It's not like my game of the year or anything like that, and I'm having fun with it. But it's fine. It's like an 8 out of 10. You're dead to me. I know you really like it, but I like most of it. It's just there's certain bits of it that I can't truck. It's more like I like most of it, and there's just some parts of it that I put up with. But it's okay. It's still, on the top end of the list. Hardsbury Shipbreaker. This is probably down here, but realistically, it's probably either here or here. I'm going to put it on haven't finished it yet, because I don't think I've played enough to really form an opinion. I did a stream in it. It's quite slow. It takes quite a while to dismantle ships. But there is a plot, and the plot does start to kind of pick up after the bit that I did. But I never got past that. I never went back to finish it. And I actually don't think I have much interest in going back and finishing it. But don't think I played enough of it to make an opinion, have an opinion on it. It was it was fun. It was a bit too slow, I think, is the problem with the shit breaking stuff. But I also felt like it was the kind of thing that you get better at and you get more tools to do, so that it does pick up. But yeah. Yeah, the aesthetic of Grounded, like I said, the setting of Grounded's quite fun. I like that it's a sort of like a 90s back garden, but yeah. Kloa. I feel like technically I should put this here because I've only played one of the two games. I do intend to finish the second game. Be completely honest, the first game put me off playing the second game, and I've only played the second game was the only previously the second game was the only one I'd played. I hadn't played the PS1 game, and so I thought in my head, oh, this would be a nice, relaxed platformer to play on a Saturday. I'll play the first game in the afternoon and play the second game in the evening. Bing, bang, boom. Everything's dandy. First game took me 8 hours to finish. It was really hard, made my thumbs hurt, and it was really, really difficult. But I did 100% it. And now it's made me wonder, it's like, maybe the second game's really hard and I don't remember. So I will finish it. It is still installed. It is still on my list of games to play. But I think the first game keeps... I keep going like, oh, I don't really fancy something punishing tonight. And then I probably play it and it's probably like just like a really cutesy platformer and it's fine. So yeah, so until I play the second game again, I don't think I can make an assessment. That said, I do really like it. It's probably good. It'd probably be up here. Probably being very great, very dandy, pretty damn dandy. I really did like Klonoa 1. But yeah, it's two games and I've only played one, so I need to at least play some of the second game to make an opinion. Midnight Suns. This is probably... I'm still working my way through this. I've just unlocked Captain America. And I've met Wolverine. So everything's going good. I'm making lots of superhero friends. It's a fun game. It definitely feels low budget though. Like they delayed this quite a bit, and I can definitely see. Oh, my thing's on low power. That's obviously an indication that I need to talk faster. I can definitely see why they delayed it. It is a good game, but there is sort of, it doesn't look great. It looks like it's a last gen game that's been delayed and delayed and delayed. It feels like, but I am having fun with it. I feel like I need to see how it ends. But based on what I've played so far, I'd probably put it about. I think I'd put it there. I think there's enough there that I'm. The actual mission stuff is really, really fun, and the stuff outside the missions is good. It could be better, but it's good. I think that's probably where I am. And you can pet... There's a dog that you have to pet, and it's actually to your benefit to pet it, because the dog gets stronger. Like real dogs. When you pet real dogs, they get stronger. Sonic Omens. So technically this... Well, the last episode of Sonic Omens came out. So which is when I played it. So I did sort of consider it as like a complete package. This was a fan game. I normally give fan games the benefit of the doubt and say that I'd give it a couple of points better, but given some of the stuff about the guy who made this and like the fact that there's the quality of the game itself, and I'm sorry, that entire final boss sequence was unforgivable. This is not a dandy game. Tell you what, I'll put it in not so dandy just because we did have some funny moments, and I liked Spanish Shadow, so I'll put it in not so dandy. There was a few bits of entertainment that could be gleaned out of it. The ridiculousness of the Maria boss fight, for example, was delightful. Pentiment, again, I feel like this is a good game, but I just haven't played enough of it yet. Same as Citizen Sleeper. I won't stream any more of it. It's too much dialogue. I would like to play more of it. Because it's good, but I haven't played enough to make an opinion of it. Arceus. So we played this. This is like right at the start of the year we played Arceus. This feels like so long ago. that we did all the Pokemon Arceus stuff. Was not expecting that to get bumped up. Yeah, it is. There's so much bad about this, but I can appreciate the jank was funny in certain places, and there were bits of it that I could sort of see promise, and I can at least kind of give it credit for that. But it's only up to here. Like, it's yeah, it's definitely kind of on the lower end of not so dandy. Pokemon Arceus, I feel like this is probably here. I really did have a lot of fun playing it, but it was really jank. But it had some really interesting new stuff. But there was a lot of stuff. I don't know. There was some lots of good stuff, and there was a few bad things that kind of bring it down. Like, it was quite long. There was quite a lot of stuff that, like, filling the Pokedex was a bit tedious. But I really like the catching mechanics. The story was... Yeah, the story could have been a bit shorter. It's just, I'm trying to think, because it was almost a year ago. It was like last January this game came out. I did enjoy it. Actually, maybe I'll put it up to there. It was... I feel like I shouldn't give Pokemon games this high, because they really need to spend longer on them and make sure they're a bit more polished. And I don't want to... It feels like I'm ignoring the fact that it was jank. But Arceus was good. It was a lot of fun. I just love Pokemon. Yeah, I'm going to put it in pretty damn dandy. Paparazzi, this game sucked. I think I played about an hour of it and then quit. I really like the idea of this game. You take photos of dogs. What's not to like? Execution, dog shit. Game was not fun. I may have been in a bad mood when I played it. I can't remember, but it was dog shit. I hated it. It was probably probably the worst game I played this year. Yeah, just like absolutely god awful. Ravenous Devils. That's what it's. So the font's weird. This was okay. I probably put it as quite dandy. It was fine. You ran a pie shop. You killed people. You put people in the pies. You sold their clothes as a tailor. It was like Barber of Butcher Street. Well, the Johnny Depp thing. I mean, I know that he didn't do the original one, but he did the most recent one. It was fine. You know, it was slow, kind of whatever. But I didn't finish it, but it was fine. Row 96. I put those dandy. It was. I think it probably would have been quite down and quite dandy, but I like the random mechanic where it had like it wasn't Sweeney Todd. Thank you. That's what it's called. Yeah, it's kind of like a Sweeney Todd thing. It was fine. Yes, the Demon Barber of Fleet Street. That's what they called it. Yes. Thank you. I could just Google this stuff, but you guys are here. It's great. Thank you, chat. What was I saying? Road 96 had like... I thought it was more random, but the randomness came in basically there were a series of stories that could happen in random order, and depending on the order they happened on, you might have... It didn't really affect what happened, but your knowledge of events and tools that you've got available to you would affect what you could do in them. The actual story was kind of interesting. The characters were quite fun. I enjoyed playing it. It was... I kind of... There were a couple of points where I got lots of the children killed. And I think I still saw everything the game had to offer. But I feel like some of the deaths were bullshit, and they should have maybe been a bit more forgiving on some of the deaths. Yeah. Saints Row. I didn't finish it, but I think I played enough of it to get... I don't plan on finishing. I don't think I'm going to go back to it. I'll put it as quite dandy. It was okay. It was definitely a step down from the last game. The gameplay was fun, but I really, and I cared more about the characters as I went, but I still didn't really care about the overall plot or about anything else really. Like it was okay. I really liked the LARPing stuff, where you had like foam Nerf guns and everyone pretends to die when you shoot them. The LARPing section of that was really funny, and I enjoyed that. But the rest of the game, it was, like I said, it was fun. I had a pirate ship. I got a cool. I got the gameplay was fun. There just wasn't everything else around the gameplay. Kind of just wasn't that engaging. Have I played The Long Dark? Yes. But I played it when it was... I can't remember if it was in early access or if I played it off... Because it was in early access for a while and then it came out. I played it very briefly. I think I played like episode 1 very briefly. Yeah, it was alright. It was alright. I can't remember why I didn't play more of it. I think I died. I think I froze to death or something. It was okay. Yeah, I like The Long Dark. Yeah, Sifu. Sifu was good, but I was bad at it. I didn't really play it a huge amount after I finished streaming it. I played it a bit. I never beat the second boss. I figured out how to beat the second boss. I just never went back and actually put it to practice. They teach you... You're supposed to use counters or something. They literally teach you how to fight every boss at the start of the game, and I just forgot. But I was glad to hear that I see that other people struggled with the second boss as well. I did replay it. It was a really fun game. Like you could tell, just like playing through it, it was just a really... In fact, I'm tempted to put it higher, but I feel like because I didn't finish it, I shouldn't. But I guess I put Midnight Suns up there, so I put it in very dandy. It was really good. It was like playing it felt nice, which is a good that's important, I think, in games. It was, even if it's not for me, which it wasn't. Signalis, I am tempted to put this top of the rung again. No, I'm going to put it second. I'll tell you why. Signalis was so good, and it was such a good homage to old school survival horror games, and the plot was interesting and engaging, and I actually gave a shit, and I really liked, and it actually had an ending. Like, it actually had I actually kind of understood the ending as well. I did have to look it up just to make sure I hadn't missed anything and see what the other endings were, but I was generally satisfied with it. The only reason I'm not putting it higher is because I don't really like Cyberpunk. I played it in spite of that. And it's not, I guess it's not Cyberpunk, it's more sci-fi, but it's like Ghost in the Shell, that kind of motif. I don't really like that sort of stuff. I played it in spite of that because I heard it was so good, and it is. If the genre was slightly different, if it was just like pure sci-fi, I'd probably put it slightly higher. That's my bias, though. I think it's definitely like a 10 out of 10 game, but for me, it's just one step below because of the genre. That part of the genre, anyway. It was great, though. It's great. I absolutely... If you like survival horror, if you like cyberpunk, if you like sci-fi, absolutely recommend it. Such a good game. Somerville, the option... This was okay. I really, really liked the premise of this. When I saw the trailer for it, I thought, oh, God, I genuinely like the Tom Cruise World at War. Is that what it was called? War of the Worlds film. And this kind of felt like it embodied that. And then it just didn't. It went a completely different direction. And like it was trying to be like this. Yeah, there was. I'm gonna put it in quite dandy. There were bits of it. I liked the first half of it more than the second half. The whole light mechanic, like the main mechanic of the game, I kind of didn't like. I think I would have preferred it much more if it was just a guy and his dog trying to find his wife during an apocalypse, and you just had to like stealth aliens, and you just had human powers. And the ending was terrible. In fact, actually, no, I'm going to put it on not so dandy. The ending was bad. That ending was... Yeah, it's... Yeah, thinking about the ending, I'm going to put it down to not so dandy. It was... Yeah, no, yeah, not so dandy. Sonic Frontiers. I'm going to stop at the top of the list for me. Again, similar to Signalis. Well, kind of reverse for Signalis. I appreciate this game technically. I think Signalis is technically a better game, but it achieved what it wanted to do better than Sonic Frontiers wanted to do. But I'm putting it higher because I like Sonic. If Elden Ring hadn't come out this year, I think Sonic Frontiers might have been my game of the year. I really, really like Sonic Frontiers. It made me so happy as a Sonic fan, because normally when I play Sonic games, they make me sad. Jesus. It's a weird relationship I have with Sonic, but it does. It just makes me so sad playing some Sonic games, because I'm just like, oh, why isn't this more fun? And this one was. It was just fun. But every step of the way, you could tell where they had tried to do one thing and it didn't work. And they had to compromise it down and down and down until it was fun. But in doing so, it was like, well, why even have it in the game at all? Like the parry system. Like, it was clear that was supposed to be a lot harder, but it wasn't fun. And so they went, okay, we're going to have to just water it down, water it down, water it down, water it down. Now you just hold a button and wait for an attack to hit you. And you can jump in the air and hold the button for like 20 seconds before something hits you. You don't have to time it at all. And it just gets... And then by that point, it's like, well, why bother with a parry system at all? But it's like, well, we've already put it in the game. And it's full of things like that, where it's like, why have you even put this combat system in the game and everything's so easy to destroy anyway? Why have you put so many combat moves into the game when... so I'm drawing circles with my mouse and I forget that you can see my cursor. Why put in so many different combat moves when everything dies so easily? And it's just like, again, I think everything was supposed to be a lot more damage spongy, but people playtested it, said it wasn't fun, and they changed it. But yeah, I just had a lot of fun with Sonic Frontiers. It was delightful. It made me very happy as a Sonic fan. I just wanted to keep playing more of it. And I'm very happy that they're making DLC. I will stream the DLC when it comes out this year. There's new characters, new missions, new levels. Everything I want. All for free. Sonic Origins. It was okay. This should have been better. Considering it's like... this should have been the definitive collection of 2D Sonic games. And there's... I might put it up slightly. I might put it up to very dandy just because of the Sonic stuff. The animated sequences and stuff were really fun. And tying all of the games together was nice. But it should have been better. Considering the source, it should have been better than it was. And it was... like, it's weird having glitches, like, new glitches in Sonic games. Like, Tails broke so much playing through this game. Where he would just, like, get caught on stuff, or he would get stuck on lifts, or just cease to function. And it's like, how have you ported this game so many times? I mean, pretty sure it's a new version of the game. Yeah, this could have done with a few more months in the oven just to kind of work out the bugs, but they really wanted to put it out on the anniversary. I think it suffered for it. So it was okay, but it should have been better. Splatoon 3. Pretty damn dandy. I like Splatoon. As it turns out. I haven't played Splatoon 3 for a couple of months. I enjoy the single player a lot more than I enjoy the multiplayer. But I like Splatoon. And this is I played through Splatoon 2 as well. I did finish that, actually. I haven't finished the final boss of the campaign. That's also on my list of games to finish. But yeah, playing through the campaign and doing all the missions and stuff was a lot of fun. Yeah, that's it. I had a squid pompadour. Bonus points. There's Splatfest coming up soon. Yeah, the Splatfest I'm not super interested in. I did the first one. They're fun. They're okay. I'm not very good at the multiplayer. I do like the salmon run, and I meant to do the big run. Is that what it's called? Where it's like across the city, and I forgot that it was on and missed it. So the next time they do one of those, I might jump back in because I want to see what the big salmon run is about. Pompadour, that's at least 30 bonus points. It definitely gives it a bonus point. It's not an exaggeration to say I played Splatoon 3 because they put a Pompadour in it. It's definitely true of Splatoon 2, because I played Splatoon 2 to see if I would like Splatoon, and I did, so then I bought Splatoon 3. But I did it because of the Pompadour. Yeah, Salmon Run is fun. I like the co-op stuff more than I like the multiplayer stuff, I think. So, next time they do a big run, or whatever it's called, on Splatoon 3, I might jump back in. Final Fantasy Origins. Stranger... Oh, this game, again, also has a title I keep getting wrong. It's Stranger of Paradise. Singular. Final Fantasy Origin. I finished this. I haven't done any of the DLC yet. I feel like it's probably here. I remember having fun playing with it, and I liked... The story... It's a really hard sell, this game, because it's not... It's not great. It's like a 7 out of 10 game. It's dumb, and it's the kind of dumb that I really like. Like, the main character, Jack, is so... it's like I said, it's a really hard game to sell. The main character Jack is stupid, and it makes more sense once you his personality and why the characters act the way they do makes more sense the longer you go, and the way it all sort of ties into Final Fantasy 1 is kind of cool, but also still kind of stupid and dumb, but in a cool way. It's and I really like the armor and the aesthetic of this game. Like, it's a weird thing to say I like the armor, but I kept getting so many costumes and stuff for my characters that made them all look like what I imagined cool looked like when I was 10. Yeah, the game itself's fine. It played okay. It was kind of Dark Souls like it. I think it probably deserves to be here, but I'm gonna put it up here for my own reasons. Stray. Yeah, it's fine. I didn't like the ending. But otherwise it was fine. I think that my biggest problem with Stray, and the reason I won't put it higher than this, is just because I enjoyed being a cat more than I enjoyed the stuff where you did stuff that wasn't a cat. Yeah, out of 10. That's basically what it is. Like, being a cat was really fun, and then suddenly you could talk to robots. Well, you had a robot that could talk to cats, and you could translate the robots for you, and then you had a gun on your back, and it got a bit too video gamey. I think it would have been a lot cooler if you were just, the entire game, you couldn't understand what anyone was saying, and you just had to go through, like, the robot had to communicate through you with, like, pictures, which it was doing at the start of the game, and, like, arrows and signs, and, like, had to just kind of, like a real cat, like, basically lure you over places with lights and whistles and laser pointers and things. And you were just a cat, and you could basically choose to follow it, or you could just be a cat and run around and be a dick. I would have preferred that rather than the story we got. But it was still a lot of fun. Teardown. I haven't played enough of this. I think this is probably a really good game, but I just haven't... I played it on stream, did 3 levels, and then called it a night. I think I want to play more of it off stream. I just haven't had a chance to. I feel like it's probably a really good game. Yeah. That's about all I can say about Teardown. It was fun. And they wouldn't let me jump in the boxes. Yes. There was... the box force fields were just the worst part of that game. I wanted to get in boxes. I just want... Like I'm saying, I had a lot of fun being a cat. Like, knocking shit over and scratching stuff up and meowing and causing mischief. I wanted more of that and less of the video game stuff. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Shredder's Revenge. This was fine. I'm not massive on side-scrolling beat-em-ups. I think they're fun, but they're not. I don't go out my way to play side-scrolling to play beat-em-ups. If you watched me play Streets of Rage 1, 2, and 3 the other week, you will see that I'm not good at beat 'em ups either. I can be okay at them if I like focus, but yeah. But it's fine. It was a nice little homage. It had lots of little references. The game itself was fun. We played through it in one evening. I don't have any interest in going back and like maxing out the characters or getting the high scores or anything like that. It was a nice distraction. Oh, that could be fun. You can control the robot, and all you can do is point laser places to make the AI cat do what you want. Yeah! Or, like, yeah, I guess that could be an interesting spin on it. Turtles deserve more. It was a great nostalgia kick. It was, like I said, it's the genre is what brings it down for me. I like beat 'em ups, but I didn't like it more than any of the other games up here. Basically, is where I'm at. I feel like it's around this level for me. I do suck at Streets of Rage. I'd like to say that I wasn't trying very hard, and that was true, but I also am just bad at Streets of Rage. The Garcias with the knives, man, they're just... it's like a moth to a flame. The Devil in Me. This was a bummer. I want to put this higher, but it's probably around... It's around here. It's like a low dandy, a high quite dandy. It was... I feel like with all of these Dark Pictures games, I always enjoy them whilst I'm playing them, and then dislike them afterwards. Once I've kind of had a think on them. Games with violence in general, he struggles. I'm good at some violence games. I did beat Elden Ring. I beat Melania after like 3 hours. 2 hours. I only took 2 hours to beat Melania. I was quite proud of that. I mean, I don't get me wrong. I had a cheese strategy, and I cheesed the hell out of her, but I did still beat her reasonably legitimately. I really wanted to like that game, but I just didn't. Yeah, it was... I think the big problem I had with it is it was sold as like a Saw-style murder hotel, and the Saw stuff just really wasn't there that much. There was maybe like 3 trap rooms we walked into. The furnace, the glass crusher, has like one other, and I feel like that was the main draw, and it just... yeah. The characters, apart from Charlie, were kind of whatever. And it made me it tried to make me kill a dog. No, it's definitely going in quite dandy. In fact, do I bump it down? It tried to make me kill a dog. I'm putting it in not so dandy. It was... the fact that it was like, you have to kill this dog. If you don't kill this dog, we're going to kill one of your characters. And then moments before that gave me a really confusing prompt, which meant that I chose the wrong thing. I'm going to put it in not so dandy. I do, like I said, I really like playing these games, and then I just hate them afterwards. Yeah, I like Charlie, but I didn't care about any of the characters. Charlie was fun. I think I just liked Charlie because he was Cockney, and he was a bit of a prick. I like a character who's an asshole if they're affable. If you're an asshole, yeah, fair enough. But if you're an asshole and you're kind of likable, it's like, you scamp. Yeah, you little scamp. All right, we're not got too many left. I'm just looking at my battery on my my iPad. Okay, Last of Us. So I've only played one sitting of this, and I will play through the rest of it. So it should probably go and have finished yet. It seems dandy. However, I know that it is just... it's a reskin and a remaster of like the voice acting, the mission, the level design, like everything is exactly the same as the original version. The original version for me was like one of the best games I ever played, so I'm comfortable putting it in very dandy, having only played one session of it. It's going to be a nice little trip down memory lane. It's still a really fun game, and now it's got a nice lick of paint on it. Once I finished it, I might be tempted to put it slightly higher, but given that I've only played the first sort of 3.5 hours of it, I'll put it in very dandy for now. The Quarry. I had problems with the ending. Mostly that I got a bad ending. And then got stuck sitting through a shitty podcast over the credits, which ran for half an hour. And all I wanted to do was restart the game so that I could try and get a better ending. And if it wasn't for the rewind function that I unlocked for completing the game once, I probably would have a much more negative impression, because I feel like the actual the final bit with the werewolf kid, I won't say anything more than that, but the final bit with that, I hate it. I thought it was annoying because they gave you basically one option, and I don't like that. I like it's fine giving you a choice, but the choice was basically do this or you die. But I liked most of the rest of it. I liked a lot of the characters. It had some really good bits. I thought the dialogue was... I thought they nailed that kind of awkward young adult conversation that you have with people that you don't know about, that you don't know very well. Like, the dialogue is stilted, but also these are people that have known each other for like 2 months. And so it's... And they're like horny and, you know, hormonal. And I thought it was really good. They gave you a choice. You just picked the wrong one. Yeah, but the wrong one. But they look. They painted this whole picture of like, oh, I'm not going to go into the ending spoilers, but they painted the whole picture of like, oh, choose this, and you choose it, and it's like, ha, no, choose the other thing. And it's like, if the rewind function wasn't there, it would have been really irritating, because then we would have had to. I would have just ended it there, because we wouldn't have been able to. I wouldn't have replayed the whole last chapter just to make another choice. So again, if it wasn't for the rewind function, and I'm glad it has it, and I think these games probably do benefit from having them, because I'm okay with characters dying in these games when it's like I've made a choice and that choice turned out to be bad. But sometimes your character, you'll go like, you've got no idea that the choice you're making is actually a bad one, or it's not clear what you're choosing to do, and the character does something. You're like, oh, I didn't know that was going to do that, and then you get a character killed, which is what happened in The Devil in Me, which is when it tried to make me kill a dog. So I still think overall though it was better. I'm going to put it in Dandy. I think it was a lot better than The Devil in Me. I mean, it was a more expensive, it was a bigger budget game and more expensive. The choice is based on how much you paid attention to the monster lore. Yeah, but they painted. Like I said, I'm not going into ending spoilers. I disagreed with the ending. It should have been. It was just I disagreed with the ending. Sometimes you don't expect the wording the characters use. Yeah, that's what I mean. It's like the choice specifically in Devil Me was like it came up with help or hide whilst I was helping the dog. And I thought it was like, do I continue to help the dog or do I hide? And what it was actually was whether I tell the person I'm with to hide or to help me. And that was not clear. And if I had told her to hide, I wouldn't have died. Because I told her to help me, I died. So it was annoying, because it was like, that I don't feel like was my fault. Okay, it did say kill the dog, but I'm not going to kill a dog. So, screw you. Yeah, like interesting yes or no, they say no, they curse the other guy, yeah. These games always have that problem, though, and it's something I wish they would kind of get better at, or at least you would think, given how many of these types of games Supermassive have made now, that they would have got better at it. But it was still, like I said, these games are always fun to play, and I would play all of them because they're just delightful. Even if I have complaints about them after the fact, the journey is always entertaining whilst you sort of figure out how it is. But yeah, it's about Dandy. It probably would have been very dandy if it wasn't for that podcast thing. Tunic. This is going to go pretty damn dandy. It was a little fun game. I really, really enjoyed the first 95% of this game. The last 5% of this game suck. It's the only thing that's stopping it from the top spot is the last 5% of this game, because This game did exactly the same thing the Golden Idol did, where it had puzzles that were difficult enough that you felt smart when you solved them, but they weren't hard enough that you felt frustrated. And then they made you translate an entire fucking language. And that was when I went, do you know what? No. It's like, the rest of the stuff was like using the clues in building the in-game manual, and then using the clues in the in-game manual to solve the giant puzzle at the end. That was so satisfying to solve without using a guide or anything and just figuring it out. But then there was that one puzzle where I did all the bits, and then it gave me a message in a made-up language, and it was like, translate the message. And I was like, no, I'm not deciphering an entire made-up language that you've made in order to translate this message. And we had to look it up to get the final statue. And then it all just led to some stupid ARG thing, which just led to a YouTube video going, oh, there's a sequel. But other than that, the rest of the game, like I said, 95% of the game is great. It was just the last 5%. They have patched this now, but at the time, you could also miss out on the final boss if you were too prepared. So if you manage to... I think if you manage to get all of the pages of the manual, you skip the final boss fight. And what would happen is the game would then save, and you couldn't go back and fight the boss. They have now patched it so you can, and I fortunately found out about it beforehand so I could fight the final boss, because the final boss was fun. The final boss was nice and challenging. But I would have been really irritated if I had accidentally bypassed the final boss and I had no way, I had to replay the entire game to fight the final boss. But that didn't happen. So yes, it's if it wasn't for that final bit, it would have been right at the top. But that final bit just soured me on it enough that I'm bringing it down. It was, yeah. Vampire Survivors. Yeah, pretty damn dandy. Simple premise. Very well executed. A lot of fun. I lost an entire Saturday playing, like literally I started playing I woke up about 12 o'clock. It was the weekend I decided to take off from streaming, and then I got sick. I don't know whether it was because of Vampire Survivors, but I decided to take off a weekend a couple of weeks back. Played Vampire Survivors from about 12 o'clock until about 3 a.m. And then I was sick all the rest of the weekend with the fever. I don't know that Vampire Survivors can be blamed for that. But yeah, fun game. Just, yeah. I know it's not the first of its kind either, but, yeah. Yeah, it's just fun. Yu-Gi-Oh! Master, quite dandy. I'm not a big fan of Yu-Gi-Oh! And I got confused trying to build decks, but if you're a Yu-Gi-Oh! Fan, this is probably like the best Yu-Gi-Oh! Game without a plot. There is a better one that came out on Xbox a little while ago that they let you replay through the anime, I think, which is probably better in my eyes. But in terms of just like if you want to play an online Yu-Gi-Oh! Game and you just want to build a deck and play people at Yu-Gi-Oh!, this is like a complete package and it's great. It's free to play. There is premium currency, but you can pretty much make whatever deck you want for free without ever paying for anything, in my experience. If you weren't playing that, I will. You can blame Vampire Survivors on me getting sick if you want. But whilst I was not sick, it was a lot of fun. Multiversus, probably put it in dandy. I got a similar problem with that with Fall Guys, in that I played it a lot in pre-alpha. I played through all the pre-alpha season, the pre-release season pass. And then the game came out and I just couldn't be bothered to play anymore. It required just a bit too much time. And I don't like fighting games. Fighting games and beat 'em up games are kind of on the same level for me, so even if it's really good, I only like them so much. Fun game though. I really liked the idea of a game like this with like daily missions and to keep you coming back in. And the way the daily missions were structured, it made you play in ways you wouldn't normally play. Smash Brothers, I think, could benefit a lot from that model, because the problem I have with Smash Brothers is I just don't really have any... I used to play it a lot when I was a kid, because would play it with friends who were all about the same skill level as me. But I don't really have any desire to sort of pick Smash Brothers up and just play it on my own. But if there were daily missions, the season pass to unlock new costumes and stuff, or cosmetics, and those dailies will like make me try different things with play different characters, I'd probably play it a lot more, and probably be a lot better at the game. But yeah, it's there. I like playing as Harley Quinn. She was fun. Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe. We played this last night. Bucket. Stanley Parable is very good. I think this game was very good. There was a lot more extra content than I thought there was going to be. I really thought it was going to be the Stanley Parable with some improved textures and a bit of extra stuff. And add a bucket section. I'm not adding an entire tier for the Stanley Parable. The bucket is pretty damn dandy. I'd probably put it higher if I hadn't played Stanley Parable before and it was all brand new to me. But because I'd played the original and I kind of knew what to expect going in, it's not quite top tier. But yeah, such a fun game, and the stream last night in it with the bucket was a lot of fun. This one's an exception. So I've put Fortnite Zero Build mode in. Obviously, Fortnite's been out for about 5 years now, but they added Zero Build this year. And I feel like it's such a... Fortnite has taken up a lot of my time this year. I've been playing a lot since Zero Build got introduced. And I feel like Zero Build is such a dramatic change that it deserves being considered its own entry. It's going to go right at the top for me. I am fully in on the Fortnite train. I'm not the best, but I win reasonably enough, quite a bit. And you know, I like making Batman do dances, and you know, making Vegeta and All Might do the fusion dance and things. You know, it's satisfying. I don't care. I like the dances. Come on, show us your favorite Fortnite dance. I don't think I have a favorite. I really like the jazz, the saxophone taunt that you can get where you play the saxophone. I put that on a lot of my characters. I never played it, so I don't know what dances there are. There are so many. And they release so many. Well, there's like every popular like every popular sort of like mainstream dance you can think of is on there. Like YMCA, Gangnam Style, the Hokey Pokey, all of that. They're all on there in some form. And then there's just like made up dances and there's break dance. It's just delightful to see like Vegeta do a break dance, or who did I just buy? Oh, Han Solo playing the saxophone, and Doctor Strange doing Bing Bang Boom. It's. I know it gets memed a lot, and people make fun of Fortnite, and you are playing against children a lot of the time, or against bots. Like some of the people I play against are so bad. I just think you must either be a robot programmed to be bad, or you are a child who is playing on their tablet with their mouth, because there is no way a human could be this bad. But it's just Fortnite is just a really good. It's just at the top of its game. It is a really good feeling shoot 'em up. And since they got rid of the building stuff was so. I hate using the word, but so sweaty. Like the fact you would shoot someone. I occasionally have to play modes with building in. And you shoot someone and they just turn into a skyscraper. And it's like, just turn around and fight me. Stop building a goddamn Tower of Babel every time I cap you with my gun. I thought because I pre-ordered it for PvE mode, but then every time I launched the game, their friend's young nephew would spam me with invites. Yeah, my cousin's kid tried to add me at one point. I just politely ignored it. He didn't spam me though, fortunately. It's actually an interesting thing. I got into Fortnite because I liked the idea of the PvE mode, and I very recently got the PvE mode unlocked as part of playing Zero build. And I played the PvE mode, and it's not very good. It was kind of boring. I much prefer the Battle Royale mode. But yeah, I wanted to put Fortnite on because it has taken up quite a big chunk of my gaming. I don't think I'll ever stream it because I'm just not good enough to be entertaining. But it's one of those. It's the game I play on lunchtimes. Yeah, generally, I just hop on and do my dailies when I'm eating lunch. Christmas. I think this game's called Christmas Stories: Taxi of Miracles. I played this on Christmas Eve. I put a video out on Christmas Day on YouTube.com. The Dandy Vtuber, I think, is my URL. The stream was fun. The game's crap. I would like to play more of these hidden object puzzle games, though. I think they're fun. And there are some good ones. This was not a good one. This was really bad. I think the company that makes some of these has kind of got off, just kind of cheaped out a little bit. Some of the older ones are apparently really good. There's some murder mystery ones, which are apparently quite good, and I'd quite like to play some of those sometime. PvE mode is a good idea, but Battle Royale makes the money. Yeah, but the thing is that they do still support the PvE mode. But it's just not as fun to play. I was playing it with like 3 friends as well. We were doing the full co-op. We were building. It's just not as interesting. I think as much as I hate it, because I hate how Fortnite kind of came to be, in that they got all this money from people who pre-ordered the PvE mode and got all like the season pack, all the founders packs and things for PvE mode, and then built this Battle Royale mode, which then kind of left Save the Earth, Save the World, whatever it's called, in the dust. I hate that worked, and that they kind of built this game on the back of people pre-ordering a different game. But it was the right call. I think it is a lot more fun. I mean, they did just copy PUBG, but PUBG were onto a winner. I'm always in favor of games. If a video game is doing a thing, and there's another game that's done that thing already, and it works, I'm always in favor of that game just copying another game rather than trying to come up with their own thing that doesn't work as well. It's just like, it's fine. Just copy the other game. No one cares. It's okay. And Crossfire. I probably like this game for the wrong reasons. Like I said, I didn't expect to like this. I thought this was going to be a slog, and it was weirdly fun. It's not a good game. The multiplayer alone, I don't really have the knowledge to comment on the multiplayer of Crossfire X, but the single player campaign is not good, but it is entertaining, and so I feel like it's got to go around here. I feel like I'm going to put it in Quite Dandy. I feel like it's about that level. Like, I cared the characters were just silly enough, and I like the gameplay was janky enough, and just not that difficult enough. And the plot was just interesting. Like, all it was, like, every single kind of parameter just ticked over the line in every area. And the fact that Remedy made it, and you could tell from all of the like dream sequences and stuff, yeah, it was good. I would not have called in a million years that I would actually pay to play the second chapter, but we will. I will probably try and play it next week. Yeah. So I think that's my kind of order for my top 3. I feel like that might be Golden Idol might be too high now that I've sort of sat it there. I did really enjoy it, but I don't think I enjoyed it as much as these two. I'm going to bump Golden Idol down. I feel like I enjoyed these two just a step above Golden Idol. Yeah, and I feel like the rest of these are probably in the right place. Yeah. Yeah. Do I want to move Plague Tale down? No, I think I like Plague Tale more than Gotham Knights. I think I think I'm happy with that. That's fine. That's fine. I think maybe that's too harsh. I'm gonna put that bar up to quite dandy. I think I enjoy The Devil in Me as much as I enjoyed Crossfire. I think that at this point, I kind of didn't enjoy the game anymore. Actually, no, that's not true because I no. No, I think the thing is, I think what I'm confusing in my mind is I streamed these three, and I enjoyed streaming these three, but I didn't enjoy the games themselves. Yeah, I think that's fair. I think that's where I'm getting tripped up, and I'm thinking because these two I played offline, and I think they're both bad games. Not better than these games, but still. But because I didn't stream them, I didn't have like that positive association, which I did with these. Because Sonic Omens was fun to laugh at, Somerville was fun to complain at, and the Christmas game was just jolly. It was the lady who gave me glue. Yeah, I'm happy with this. That's my list. That's my tier. Elden Ring is my game of the year. Sonic Frontiers is a close second. If Elden Ring hadn't come out this year, Sonic Frontiers would be right at the top. It just made me so happy, that game. And like I said, this is my list. I fully appreciate that Sonic Frontiers is not as good a game objectively compared to Elden Ring. It is probably an 8 out of 10 game, I think. Maybe even a 7 out of 10 game. But it made me so happy that it's at the top of my list. It's definitely my personal biases coming into play here. It's my favorite game. So yeah, this is my list. Recommendation for a casual Games Pass pickup? Beacon Pines is pretty good. I think Beacon Pines is a pretty solid Game Pass game if it's still on there. Yeah, I actually think Beacon Pines might have come off just recently. That Beacon Pines is a nice little chill indie game to play. Tunic 2, again, the complaint I have about it was big, but the rest of the game was so good. So yeah, Tunic or Beacon Pines, I think, are probably two good Game Pass games to pick up. Otherwise, Turtles, if you like beat 'em ups, yeah, the Turtles game is on Game Pass as well. Solid. Yeah, if you like beat 'em up, I mean, it's only as low as it is for me because I don't like beat 'em ups as much. But if you do, that's a really good one as well. Yeah, I think those three. Thank you, Jen. Much appreciated. So yeah, that ends my. We didn't quite go for the full 12 hours this year, but 10 hours is pretty. I'll take 10 hours. Yeah, we went for the full. I did everything on my list. I streamed both games. I streamed one more than the other, which I didn't. Considering I only decided to play Crossfire today, that was a good choice as it turns out. And we went through the tier list, and I got my top 10, my top games of the year. Yeah, I'm happy with that. I just realised Pokemon Scarlet isn't on there. I thought I'd put Pokemon Scarlet on here. Why is Pokemon Scarlet not on there? I definitely did not download. Oh, I didn't, did I? If Pokemon Scarlet was on here, I'd probably put it. I haven't quite finished it yet. It'd probably be down the maybe quite dandy or dandy section. That game was a letdown. Even though I haven't finished it yet. That game needed another year in the oven. It just was not finished. It was so janky and so Like there's some really promising ideas. They just needed more time. And yeah, the whole Pokemon loop is kind of like, I appreciated what Arceus tried to do a lot more than I appreciated what Scarlet tried to do. Let's put it that way. Japanese claw games go right to the top, right? Oh, I wish they. Yeah. I mean, I can't. I mean, it's basically gambling, isn't it? With prizes. I don't know where I'd put claw games on this list. The thing is that I don't like the claw games by themselves. I like winning prizes. So if I could win anime figures from, I don't know, spinning a wheel or something, like just a random chance wheel, like where I just press a button or I guess a number between 1 and 10, I'd probably have as much fun with the claw games. They're very expensive, unfortunately. The price of playing those claw games does also kind of take out some of the enjoyment. I have to be very honest. When the box of the last stuff came, and I looked at the box and how much I actually had, and I thought about how much money I spent, it does kind of put me off doing another one. It was. I think I still got just enough stuff to justify the cost, but it was also like, man, I've got to buy a house. I need to save for a TV. I can't be spending this much money on crisps. Oh, I am irresponsible with my money. Yeah. So yeah, we're gonna end there. There's a couple bits I want to go through. So obviously it's a new year. That I am going to do some changes for the new year with regards to the schedule. So Mondays have always been Sonic Mondays. I'm not doing Sonic Mondays anymore. We will still occasionally play Sonic games on Mondays. It's just there are quite a lot of Sonic games, and I could easily keep playing Sonic on a Monday, and there'd probably be enough to keep me going. But there were so many Mondays where I was just like, I don't want to play Sonic again. Like, I love Sonic, but it was just too much. So I think Mondays is just going to be kind of a wild card. I was originally going to put it down as like a retro day, and I think that's probably what it will be. But also occasionally, because what generally happens is because I had Sonic on Mondays, Crime Time on Wednesdays, and then I generally try and play like new games on a Saturday. I didn't have a space for anything else. If I wanted to play something like I'm currently playing The Last of Us, it would have to go on a Tuesday or a Wednesday, on a Tuesday or a Thursday, and like a bonus stream. And I don't want to do bonus streams all the time, because I do like sometimes having at least one evening a week just where I can kind of chill and play like some of these games on this tier list that I haven't finished yet, for example. Oh, God of War's not on here either. I mean, I missed off a couple. God of War would be on the I haven't finished yet, but it seems dandy. I've put 2 hours into it. It seems fine. People have been reviewing it very well. It will probably be at the top of the list when I finish it, but I haven't finished it. I've put 2 hours in, and so far it's very similar to the last game. I can't believe I missed off God of War and Pokemon. I might have to double check that I haven't forgotten any other bigger missions either. I think I picked up everything. What else is I? Anyway, I'll figure that out. Maybe I'll post a full version on Twitter with the other games that I missed off added in. Yeah, so that's the one big change. I'm going to start streaming on the Monday. As I said, I'm going to try and do more like crowd chat interaction games, like crowd control stuff. Because it's just fun where you guys can just, trip me up and try and hinder my progress. So I'm going to try and do more of those. Probably again, having a Monday slot kind of be a whatever slot. I can do those kind of games on a Monday rather than feel like I have to do them on a Tuesday or Thursday. Vermintide. Is that your game that you're going to suggest to me? So this was another thing. I talked about this during Crossfire. I decided, so I'm going to let everyone who is a founder, so that's basically the first 10 people who subscribe to me, or who have subscribed to me. I kind of wanted to do some stuff for people who have subscribed to me, basically, as a kind of, hey, thanks, because, you know, I like doing this, and it's, you know, thanks for keeping me company while I do it, and thanks for financially, technically, not supporting me, but giving me money. So, if you are a founder, subscriber, so that includes you, John, and obviously you, Amy, because John, although you've been gifted subs, you are still a founder because you were one of the first one in the top 10. You can recommend one game to me, and I will play it. There are some provisos with that, in that you can obviously recommend me a game that I will hate, and I'll play it, but I'll probably play it once, and it probably might be a short stream. If you recommend a game to me that you think I'll actually enjoy, I might play through the whole game, depending on the length. Obviously, Stratos wants to recommend me an MMO, which is fine, but I'm playing through Final Fantasy XIV, so I'm gonna struggle to find time to play it until I finish Final Fantasy XIV, which is fine. We said we'd do it after Final Fantasy XIV. So, yeah. I also, if you recommend something that like Outer Wilds, which is a great game, phenomenal game. I absolutely recommend Outer Wilds. Just left Game Pass. I've already played it, and I feel like it was one of those games you can only really enjoy it the first time through, and playing it a second time just wouldn't be that fun. I might veto it just on that basis, but otherwise I will generally try and play whatever you recommend. But just like I said, bear in mind, if I don't like the game, I will only do it once, and you will have wasted not wasted, but you could have gotten more out of me. So have a think. There's no rush. And it can be any kind of game, present, future, past, and providing I can reasonably acquire a copy of it, I will play it at some point. I might try and do one a month, and I will sort of highlight whose game it is and what we're playing. So I currently have one game on the list, which I'm going to play in March, because I think it's got a console version coming out. So when it comes out, I will play it. Yeah, I think that's it. I probably some other stuff I'm forgetting, but I mean, I'd like to say I'm gonna try and stream more on time, and I will. But I do genuinely try and stream on time, and it's just real life just gets in the way sometimes, and it means I have to. I run a bit late, or I just need to my brain to get in the right sort of headspace so that I can be entertaining, and that just takes me a couple of minutes to 15 minutes, half an hour or so to kind of despool from work sometimes, and that's why I'm late. But it's mostly procrastination, and the procrastination side of it I will try and curtail. Vermintide has chat integration. Okay, that's something I will look into then, because yeah, I want to play more of that sort of stuff. I really like the kind of stuff where I can name characters after people in chat, and we can, and I've been watching. The thing is, I've been watching some really good chat integration stuff, but it doesn't work unless you have lots of people in chat. There's a great add-on where it will. So you set 15, and people can post in chat one-word responses. And if the same word gets posted 15 times, there's a text-to-speech thing that will say it, and in chat. And so there's lots of different variety uses for it. So I've seen people do it for AI Dungeon, where they're like, okay, chat, what do you want to do? And then the chat all kind of posts kill, spare, talk, eat him, and then whichever one gets to 15 or 20 or 25 first, the chat goes, eat him, and it goes, okay, we're going to eat this guy. And it's great fun. The more interesting application I saw was someone was playing Project Zomboid, and they had a dead body, and they had it set to whisper, and all throughout the stream, chat was whispering to them through the corpse, going things like, "Hungry, come back, save me." And he's like, okay, do you need me to get anything when I'm out? And they're like, milk. And then he had to get milk for the corpse. And it was delightfully disturbing. But it's the sort of thing you can only do if you've got quite a lot of people in chat. I'd love to do that sort of stuff. But I need to find stuff that works on a smaller scale. Yeah, no, I know what Vermintide is. I'd probably be terrible at it, but if it's got chat integration, I can at least do something with it. Chat integration give you like random boons or curses that can give you a healing potion or a horde of enemies. Yeah, that could be fun. Knowing what I know about Left 4 Dead, I feel like those kind of games are more fun if you've got like 4 people, you've got like a full team. But like I said, I'll look into it. I have played. Did I play Vermintide or have I watched someone play Vermintide? I'm familiar with Vermintide either way. So yeah, but yeah, any game with chat integration, if there's anything like that, let me know. I want to play that RimWorld. I did check that out. That looks like fun. I do want to play RimWorld. I'm kind of waiting for it to go on sale because it's been out for a while and it's got a lot of expensive expansions. It did have a console version, but again, I want to wait for it to go on. I could play the console version, but it feels like one of those games that's probably better with on PC, which I just because of the mod stuff. So yeah, stuff like that. I want to play more of that. I am also. This is more of a threat. 5% battery. That's fine. This is more of a threat than a promise. I will make 2023 more weeb. I have the weeb tag on all of my streams, and I don't feel like I play enough weeb games. So I'm gonna, as I said, this is a threat more than a promise. I'm gonna play more anime games. One Piece Odyssey's coming out in the next couple of weeks. I will be playing that. That will be the Saturday game for a few weeks. I will probably play Tears of the Kingdom when it comes out. Tears of the Kingdom is one of those games that I think like everyone's going to be playing it, so it's probably not great to be playing it because everyone will be. But also, it's just I want to play it. I feel like if I don't stream it, I won't have time to play it, and it makes for great content. Those Breath of the Wild games, so I'm going to play it anyway. Kind of a similar feeling about Elden Ring, and that worked out nicely. How do I feel about Genshin? I would happily play Genshin if there was a single character in that game that I wanted to play as. I have periodically checked the playable characters and checked who's been added and stuff, and I just do not like any of the characters. I don't know what it is. There's just something about the character design in that game that just does not appeal to me. Doesn't help that I like Osan middle-aged characters, and that's not the game for that. They don't have very many like 40-year-old dudes in Genshin. If they add one though, I'm gonna be there for it. If they add like a Spike speaker, well, Spike was like 20, but you know, like a Lupin aged or old like a Zenigata aged, that kind of character. I'll be all over that. You join the game with that same philosophy. So there's a character that you liked the look of. Just fair enough. But yeah, it's just I feel like the gacha aspect of that game is so integral. And if there's not a single character that I actually want to unlock, I just don't think I'll enjoy it. I had the same problem with Tower of Fantasy. I downloaded it, played with the character creator, didn't like the character I could make, had a look at the other characters I could get, didn't like any of those characters, and uninstalled it. That kind of stuff's with gacha games especially, that kind of stuff is really important to me. I think it's part of the reason why I like Dragon Ball The Breakers so much, because I like Dragon Ball, and so the gacha stuff, all of the gacha stuff is appealing to me, and I like the character that I've created because it looks like a character from Dragon Ball. Not like a main character, but just like some guy, and I really like that. I really like the aesthetic in The Breakers. So, yeah, that kind of stuff's important to me in games. It's weird, but yeah. So yeah, so they ever had a character that I actually want to play in Genshin, I would happily play it, but they just haven't yet, so I haven't. Yeah, alright. I think that's it. I think I said everything I wanted to say. Thanks again for, watching me, following me, subscribing to me this last year. It's been a lot of fun. I plan to continue at least through the next year. I don't have any plans not to, so hopefully by this time next year you'll all still be here and with many more people. Onwards and upwards. Growth. The more dandies, more power. I don't know what I'm saying. I'm very hungry and tired now. I'm going to go eat my pizza, and if I have space, I'm going to go eat my ice cream. I sound like a 10-year-old. But, I am. Look at me. Thanks for watching, everyone. Again, hope everyone has a very dandy new year. And I shall see you on... Not tomorrow. Not streaming tomorrow. I'm going to take tomorrow off. Because it's my last holiday before I have to go back to work on Tuesday. So I'm going to have a nice, long day just playing video games and chilling out and trying to watch some of the TV that I promised I would watch over the Christmas break. But I will either be back Tuesday or Wednesday. If I'm not back Tuesday, I'll play Thursday as well. We'll play The Last of Us. So either Tuesday or Wednesday, we'll be playing more Last of Us. So if I see you then, I will see you then. Otherwise, I'll see you when I see you. Thanks for watching. I've been Dandy. You've all been Dandy. I'm sorry, I'm looking for the button. Where did I put? There's the button. Have a good night, everyone. And I will see you next time.